So sorry about missing a day of uploading yesterday. I don't know how I fucking managed to pull this off, but I literally fell asleep through uploading. I don't get it. I fell asleep at like 8:30 and I woke up at like 2 a.m. and I was like, fuck. But today I'm back with a video, and in this story today, I just want to talk about something real quick. This is one of those experiences I've had where it's completely my fault. Like, I usually talk about situations where it's like, my fault, but it's not that bad, or I get put into a situation where people think it's my fault. This was 110% my fucking fault, and it's just one of those, stories from a few years ago that I just learned from and learned to not be more of a fucking idiot than I already am. And it's kind of funny because it's similar to another experience I had where I talked about it on this channel. I used to work at a donut place, and I've talked about that before. But this was at a food place, too, and it involves me. I'm just going to talk about it. So a few years ago, I got hired at my friend's, family carnival. Yes, a fucking carnival. I don't even think I was allowed to be working there. I was just helping him out, kind of behind the scenes. It wasn't some legal pay or whatever. It wasn't a legal job. I was just helping for the weekend, and I basically fucking helped people make funnel cakes and serve hot dogs. That's literally what I was doing. Yeah, baller shit. Fucking walked out of that shit smelling like fried food and hot dogs. Was not the best thing in the world. But I went there, and my friend's family, hosted it, I guess. They owned this place, and it was a legit carnival. There was rides and shit, and it was every year. It was an annual thing. And we were pretty excited for it because, it's a fucking carnival that I got to work at, so I got to stay after hours and, mess around on the rides and shit. And I'm just going to skip to the part that everyone gives a shit about, I guess. So I was working my shift, and I was literally just, handing people hot dogs and shit. That was all I was doing. And after it got done, I helped my friend close up the little, store cart thing, and we walked out, locked it up, and it was really cool because, it was after closing hours, and we got to go and fuck around on the rides. So that's what we did. Since my friend's family owned it, we knew all the employees, and they just let us get on the rides. They'd run it, and we'd sit up there and fuck around. And when I got done with my shift, I had my funnel cake in my hand, because why wouldn't you pass that up? I fucking wanted a funnel cake, so I got one. And I'm sitting there, with this giant thing in my hand. There's powder blowing all fucking over me because the wind was crazy. And we're walking around this carnival riding rides. And we called friends up, and we're like, yo, the carnival's closed, but since we work it, we get to go in after hours. You guys want to come chill? And yeah, we basically had the whole fucking carnival to ourselves. It was really cool. And then it, just doesn't get any better from here because, of course, it has to go wrong. Now, we've done this before, so we figured it was 100% cool to be in there after hours because we worked it and stuff like that. And while we were waiting for our friends to show up, I was just hanging out with my friend. We were riding rides together. It was just me and my friend at this point, just waiting for others to show. We get on the Ferris wheel, and it was a pretty big Ferris wheel, and I got on it with my fucking funnel cake. You're not supposed to do that. I'm sitting there riding this ride with this giant funnel cake in my hand, and since it's going pretty fast, there's fucking powder blowing all over me and my friend, and it's just ridiculous. And our friends show up while we're on the ride, and my friend's like, yo, stop the ride, and the guy stops it. We're right at the top of the ride. We could overlook the whole entire park, and we see my friends below us. And one of my good friends in the crowd of people below us was sitting there, throwing the finger at me, being a dick. And me and him, were cool, so I thought it'd be funny to throw my entire funnel cake off the top of the Ferris wheel and hit him in the face with it. So I throw this funnel cake off the top of the Ferris wheel, and me being stupid and terrible, I missed completely, and I proceeded to hit the girl next to him, and I know her too. She didn't really care. It was just a little bit embarrassing when you intend to hit someone that you're fucking with, and you hit the wrong person with a fucking funnel cake to the face off the top of a Ferris wheel. And yeah, I just completely, my mouth dropped. I was sitting at the top of this Ferris wheel oh, what did I just do? And they lowered me, and I get off this fucking Ferris wheel. This girl's brushing the powder off her face. I was apologizing over and over. She was laughing about it. She didn't care at all. She thought it was funny. And my friend's dying laughing, making fun of me because my whole plan completely backfired. And while we're all sitting there in the crowd just laughing about it, I hear a really loud yell, and it was from an older dude. And I look to the left, and I just see the manager of the fucking place that I was working. The place that sold the funnel cakes and shit that I was working at, yeah, that guy, the manager, the dude that basically runs the whole thing, he saw me there after hours, and he comes up to me in the middle of the crowd in front of all my friends. He's like, Austin, why are you here? Second of all, why are you throwing things off the rides? And I was like, sir, I'm so sorry. He's like, no, get out of my sight. And he moves me out of the way with his hand and just starts screaming at all my friends, being like, why are you guys here? It's after hours. And my friend, who's literally family with this guy, was like, oh, we're allowed to be here. We worked it and stuff. He's like, no, that changed a long time ago. Get out. And my friend's like, but I'm part of the family. We own the carnival. He's like, I don't care. You can't ride the rides after hours. And he just completely yelled at us and just basically kicked us all out, threatened to call the police. and I got fucking fired. And guess what? Even fucking better, he didn't tell me I was fired. He sent me home. I thought I was all good to come back the next day. I came back early in the morning, and he's like, "What are you doing here? Like, we replaced you." I was like, "Oh, okay, fuck, cool. Like, I'm gone then." And I wanted to be cool and be like, "Well, you can't fire me because I fucking quit." But I was literally known as the employee that threw a funnel cake off the top of a fucking Ferris wheel and hit a girl with it. I felt so terrible. Like, there's literally no way you're coming back from that. Like, if you're known as the kid that threw a fucking funnel cake off the top of a carnival ride and hit someone with it for fun, you're done. It's over. But yeah, I went home. I had to explain to my parents that I fucking got fired for throwing a cake off the top of a Ferris wheel. And at first they were kind of mad, but they just laughed at it later in the day. Like, they all thought it was fucking hilarious that their son got kicked out for doing that. Because it wasn't like a serious job, but still pretty embarrassing. It just goes to show I can't help a good friend out and his family without fucking something up. So I will never work at a carnival again, I promise that. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much the end. I got fired for being a fucking idiot. I'm now known as the funnel cake guy to those people. And to be honest, I probably shouldn't just fucking work at a carnival. That's the main thing. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video/story today. Please leave a like if you did enjoy it. Would really appreciate it. Subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Peace.
I was on the way to your crib, girl. I know you stay in Jersey. Why you lie about where you live? Rarely ever leave Brooklyn. It's your ass that got me here. Got you arching, got you golden, like we bringing back the rib. Oh my, I am losing grip on my. Had to switch.